Good morning and welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I see that my flip screen did not flip. Let me see if I can do this. There. Whoops. There. All right. Good. Yay. Good morning, Jonille. Welcome. Glad you're here. So, a few minutes late because I got caught up in a conversation with my sister and lost track of time. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hello. We have an awesome card for today, and I kind of smirked, A, with how it presented itself, and B, with the message. So, good morning, Peggy. Welcome. I think it presented itself thusly in order to really make the point. Good morning, Cindy. Glad you are here. Awesome. Everybody's starting to roll in. You're probably going, where is she? So today, I have to tell you, good morning, Linda. Glad you're here. Today is a gift. Today, I have one short discovery call follow-up call, and that's the only thing that's scheduled all day long. Yeah. So we'll see what I decide I want to do with my time. I've already sent a message to Diane asking her if she wants to get together and do some park time or something. But as things continue to be so interesting, I watched a Victoria Laurie video. Thank you, Kathy, for forwarding it to me. She gets the weekly, monthly, whatever feed thing that she pays a little bit of money for. So once in a while she'll flip me one of the videos. And in this one, Victoria was basically again reassuring people, this is the divine unfolding, be cool, it's good. And what she was getting intuitively for vice presidential nominees, which was an interesting analysis. She had lots of interesting things to say about that. But I have to tell you also, our card for today is from the Allowing Prayers deck, 57 Invitations to Spark a Conversation with Your Soul. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. Good morning to all of you who slipped past as I was talking, by Siobhan Nash. And I had a lovely little conversation with Siobhan Nash the other day via Messenger. I had been introduced, I was given her deck by a friend of hers, Marna Franzen, who thought this would be a good deck for our purposes, and it is. And Siobhan is about to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of launching Allowing Prayers deck. So she wanted to know if she could have permission to pick one of the many Allowing Prayers readings that we've done and use that in talking about the 3rd anniversary. And I said, absolutely. So I can't wait to see which one she picks. But then this was the card, probably because it was in the subconscious mind, right, that was called for today. And the questions on this card are so relevant for our times. Again, I chortled. I thought, well, perfect, absolutely perfect card. So let us begin with the breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Are any of you finding your breathing a little bit easier? In through the nose, out through the mouth. Allow your shoulders to drop. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Do you feel a little refreshed, a little more perked up? So our card for today, smirk. Allow transition. Allow transition. How many of us fight change? Good morning, Janine. Glad you are here. And here's the deal. Change is inevitable. Does it not make sense that those who are going to enjoy their lives more, go with the flow more, really appreciate change, good morning, Angie, glad you're here, are those who can embrace transition? Okay, that part of my life is done, moving into a different part. That doesn't mean you don't feel sad about some of those leavings, whether it's someone who passes, changing jobs, ending a marriage, changing out a friendship, whatever it is, there's still the sadness and grief and whatever over that, but also that look to the future. I wonder what's next. I wonder what's next. And not in a what's next kind of way, but in a I wonder what's next kind of way. So, Cindy, if you wouldn't mind posting our questions, I would love that. The first one is, where are you resisting uncertainty? Oof, what a question, right? Where are you resisting uncertainty? I have worked and worked and worked and worked to be in a place where I accept more uncertainty in my life. Kayleen, my astrology friend, tells me that my chart is relatively fixed in terms of me not being very good with change. But I feel like over the years I've really embraced that to the point where I've moved to different states. I've let go of things that have made, letting go of licensure. That was huge. I had worked my tail off to get a PhD, get my 3,000 hours, get licensed, maintain that license with all the continuing education, blah, blah, blah. And I got to the point where it was like, I'm not really utilizing this. I don't need this as a coach. I needed it as a psychologist, but I don't need it as a coach. Why am I paying through the nose to maintain this thing? But letting it go was a huge transition. It's been quite a few years now, and I do not miss it. And in fact, recently had the opportunity to say no to someone who wanted me to provide the state-mandated support for their clinic. And I said, I can't do it. I don't have a license anymore. And it felt okay. It felt okay. Were there doors that have closed over the years because I let that go? Probably. Do I think it was a big hairy deal now? No. No. So, where are you resisting uncertainty? And here's the second question. How could you embrace that uncertainty and surrender to the unknown? Surrender to the unknown. And for those of you who haven't ever read my blog post, Row, Row, Row Your Boat Gently Down Life's Stream, you might want to do that because that's what this is talking about. And the difference between surrender and giving up. They are two dramatically different animals. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. So if you want to look it up, I can see if I can find it and put the link in here too, but it would be on my website, empowermentandpurpose.com, under the blog tab. And then if you go through there'll be one probably way toward the end. I probably wrote that one maybe in like 2015. But the gist of it was, row, row, row your boat gently down life's stream. It was based on a talk that I gave to a couple of different churches. And the gist of it was, surrender is being in your boat in life's stream. You have a paddle. You're using your paddle to work with the flow, to stay off the rocks, to not beat yourself on the shores, to stay in the sweet spot of the river. Giving up is, good morning, Linda, glad you're here, throwing your paddle over, jumping in the water and drowning. That's giving up. So again, two vastly different animals. Practice surrender. Practice surrender. Practice letting go. I don't have to control this. I don't have to, force decisions. I can allow. I can see what comes my way. I can see what presents itself. I can be open to receiving. What's my next step? What's my next step? Not the whole path. What's my next step? So, what could you do to embrace that uncertainty? What would help with that? How about breath? Oftentimes, as soon as we breathe deeply and in the belly, things begin to shift. Yes, letting go of the beliefs you were raised with. Yes, yes, yes. And there can be some grief with that. When we realize that a particular belief we held, like my belief that I've been working on, that men are dangerous, when we realize the import, how that has impacted our life, there can be a lot of sadness and grief about that. But to not look at it doesn't change that. It just perpetuates it. To be willing to look at it, to breathe into it, to give it the discerning eye, to address it, means that from here moving forward is going to be different and has the potential, all the potential we need to create a new, more satisfying life. How cool is this? Does it take bravery? Absolutely. That's why we had the courage card the other day. Does it take strength? Yes. That's why we had the strength card the other day. The universe is, for lack of a better word, the universe is grooming us to be our full selves, to be who we were sent here to be, to do the work we're here to do, whether that's loving on people, whether that's challenging some of the beliefs that keep people stuck, whatever it is. That's what we were put here to do, and to embrace that more fully by looking at these questions. Where am I resisting uncertainty? And how can I embrace that uncertainty and surrender to the unknown is huge. That is a great one to challenge. The belief that I am never enough and everyone else is more important. How many women were instilled with that? Thank you, Cindy. You are awesome. You are just awesome. You are one of those integrators, the person who gets stuff done, the person who takes the ideas from the visionary and makes them happen. Because if the visionary just puts thoughts out there and they don't get grabbed onto and run with, nothing happens. Nothing happens. It's just a pipe dream then. Good morning, Linda. Welcome, welcome. Well, good evening, Linda. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. This card is huge for you, Linda, for many of us. For many of us. How do we allow transition? How do we not just allow transition, but embrace transition? Oh, a change is afoot. How cool is this? This is awesome. This is wonderful. Instead of letting our brainstem and our limbic brain take over, danger, danger, danger. No. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. How do we flow with it? How do we open to receiving? You know, I watched someone the other day not take a compliment. And the person who provided the compliment didn't let it go. Kind of like, no, I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me on how wonderful. Yes, exactly. Transition in labor. What happens after that? We get this beautiful new being to raise. And we do this with everything. We do this with even transitions that happen unexpectedly. Our shift in breath may come after the transition instead of before, but it's our internal transition to adjusting to this change. It's still there. The transition's still there. And our process of coming into alignment with that change is there if we open our eyes and pay attention, right? So, where are you resisting uncertainty? How could you embrace that uncertainty and surrender to the unknown? Keep that image in mind of you in the boat going down life's river. You have a paddle. You're working with the flow to stay off the rocks, to not ground yourself on the beach, but to just keep in the sweet spot of the flow. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And the more of us, there's 10 of you on here right now, and me, the more of us who do this and the more we each do this, the easier life will flow, the more opportunities come our way, the happier we will be. The transition of retirement, yes. And we can see the people who aren't prepared for it. How many of them drop dead shortly after retiring, right? So you wait your whole life for this opportunity to go do things and just be and whatever, and not making the adjustment easily, and it's over. So preparing for retirement, preparing for having kids, preparing for being married, preparing for being in a relationship, preparing for moving, preparing. And by preparing, I mean this embrace of the uncertainty and the surrender into the flow. It's not, I've got to have every one of my ducks in line before I launch. No. I'm going to line up some ducks. I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to step in to the abyss. Preparing for being alone. Yes. Whether that's empty nest, whether it's a partner who is transitioning or a divorce or whatever. Preparing. And note the word alone. That's not the same thing as lonely. It is not the same thing as lonely. And it behooves us to build our tribe. That's why we have our practical rebels. That's why we have the people we get to see in person. That's why we call someone up and say, hey, you want to go to coffee? What's a good day? Let's go do lunch. Let's go for a walk. Let's have a bike ride. Let's, get together with people. So yesterday, Fun, Feisty, and Over 50 met at the Red Ox and had hors d'oeuvres. They have the most fantastic appetizers. And you get a half-price appetizer and $1 off your drink. So what's not to love, right? So I had bacon-wrapped scallops. They were fabulous. A whole bunch of people got ribs. They also have stuffed mushroom caps with cheese on them. I mean, it was just, and it was fun watching everybody get their stuff. There was one woman who got a jumbo shrimp, cold jumbo shrimp thing. Yes. So, when someone passes, and there were countries where actually, when the husband passed, the wife climbed on the funeral pyre with him and was burned to death. As if she had no value, no existence, no whatever without him. We need to work on some of this stuff. Stepping into our crone energy, stepping into our wisdom, our sovereignty, and sharing that. New friends, new church feels like a new life. It's a lot to take in. Yes, so be as kind and loving with yourself as you can be. The fact that you just acknowledged it's a lot to take in, that's a huge step forward. You're letting yourself know, I get it. This is a big transition for me. I will take good care of myself in this transition. I will take those baby steps. I will do one little reach out. I will, whatever. Baby step it. Absolutely. And applaud every step. I actually took my list. I'll grab it here. The list since I moved back down here and moved in with my dad. And these are all of the things that I have done that were scary since moving back. And I just added a whole bunch more. Especially this challenging the old beliefs about men thing that I was very proud of myself for. So I just keep the list going. And whenever I feel like, I can't do this, I'm such a piker, I haven't accomplished anything, blah, 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 blah. Thank you. I look at my list and I go, I've got 3.5 sides of 3x5 cards filled with things I've done that scared me since I moved here. That's pretty cool. I can certainly do one more thing that scares me, can't I? So, allow transition. Allow transition. It's a good thing. It is a good thing. Breathe into it. Take good care of yourself. Pat yourself. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a break once in a while. Okay, that's enough peopling for today. I'm going to go sit on my porch and listen to the birds. Whatever. Have an awesome Wednesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. And remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.